Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, and we're back with another aftermath, the first aftermath of the year. Now we're doing it a little bit of a different format. I usually do it full screen with the camera. I decided this year I'm gonna do it like this, so that I can kind of look while we're looking at the fights. We can check what could be next. We're gonna start with the main event, with Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the interim lightweight title. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was a good scrap. Thought it was a solid scrap, but I feel like Paddy kind of fought Justin's fight. I feel like Paddy needed to go in, do some striking, and then go for some takedowns. I think he should have implemented the takedowns in the earlier rounds, so that if he wanted to brawl in like round 5, round 4, he could have just done that. I think if he went for more takedowns and looked for more subs, I think he would have won. But I think he wanted to scrap. He didn't want to win by sub, which is kind of playing in Gaethje's hand, because I can guarantee you, if Taporia is not winning the striking battle, he's going to take Gaethje down. He's going to look for a sub. So I don't know. I don't know why Paddy did that. Even his coaches were telling him, Paddy, go for the takedown. We need to go for a sub. We're not winning we're not gonna win off the striking. Um, but I thought it was a good fight. I enjoyed the fight. I like kind of sometimes when they get too scrappy, but I do feel if Paddy wanted to get that belt, he needed to fight more his fight, not Gaethje's fight, because I think he definitely fought Gaethje's fight, not his fight. But what do we do next with him? Obviously, with Justin Gaethje, it's pretty obvious. He gets Taporia. When do we get Taporia? I think it's an actual perfect scenario for the UFC. I know the UFC will probably banking on Paddy, because that Paddy Ilya would have been a massive event, and that could have been another pay-per-view. But I think either one of these guys winning is good for the UFC. Gaethje, the reason I'm saying it's good for the UFC, just hear me out here. Um, the White House card. I am gonna make a video. I think I mentioned this before. I'm gonna make a video on like a prediction thing on the White House card. I'll probably release it. Maybe February. I'll do it February. I was gonna do it in March, but maybe that'll be a little bit too late. I have a feeling, or a gut feeling, that they're gonna try and stack this card and make it the best card of the year, or like the best card in history, or try to do something like that. If you want to do that, you have to try and get as many Americans fighting for titles. This is perfect to put there. Justin Gaethje fighting Ilia Topuria for the lightweight title at the White House. If Justin wins, it's like, oh my god, it's an American champion. But we'll get into that White House video later. So what's next for Gaethje? Obviously, it's Taporia. Whether it's the White House or it's somewhere else, that's obviously his next fight. What do you do with Paddy Pimblett? I don't know. I don't know. You could go lower down the ranks, but I'm the only fight that like popped into my head that I think would be good for Paddy is probably the winner of what's his fucking name, Saint Benoit, versus Dan Hooker. Obviously, that's gonna happen soon. At the time of this recording, it's not done yet, obviously. But I would do Dan Hooker. There's a little bit of beef there. You could sell that one. I think that's a winnable fight for Paddy to get back in the win column, because Dan's just gonna scrap. And I think that's also it's also a fight that Paddy can learn, because I think against this fight, Paddy's got that fucking he fights with his chin in the air. And if he's gonna fight people like Gaethje and potentially later down the line Holloway, Holloway is gonna be a nightmare for Paddy Pimblett if he's gonna fight like that. Because in my opinion, if this fight was Paddy Pimblett versus Max Holloway for the interim title, Holloway would have knocked Paddy out. I'm gonna be completely honest there. Yeah, so you could do Dan Hooker. That could be a fun fight. It doesn't really do. I don't think it really does much for Paddy. My dream scenario would be to give him Charles Oliveira. It gets him high up on the rankings. He beats a really credible, tough opponent, and it also kind of gives him that, how do I say it? It's like that experience against an actual wrestler. So if he does well with the wrestling and he can get past Charles, then I think he's ready. But either one, I think Dan Hooker or what you call it? What the hell's that guy's name now? Charles Oliveira. But yeah, that's what I would do. Moving on to the co-main events with Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong. Now this fight, I thought Sean needed to come in and knock Song Yadong out. I did see there was a little controversy about round one, but Song Yadong maybe winning round one. I don't understand how that was a thing. I think it was like a clear O'Malley decision victory, but it wasn't that impressive. Like, I think if O'Malley wanted to really stamp and be like, hey, I'm also in the title picture, give me Peter Yan, he needed to knock out Song Yadong. Because if he won, again, the White House, I think they would have given him that title shot at the White House against Peter Yan. Now, if they give it to him, it's kind of like, really? Really? Because Umar won on the same card on the prelims. We're not going to cover that match, but Umar won, so he's just beat two guys back to back. He's been waiting, he's going to want a title shot. Merab deserves a title shot, because if Merab gets a title shot and he beats Peter Yan, then we have to run a trilogy fight. So it puts Sean in a bad spot. Even if Merab does win the trilogy fight and he's the champ, Sean, it's like Merab's gonna be like, I beat this guy twice. And I don't think Sean is gonna beat every single person in the division to be like, hey, I kind of deserve it now. I don't think it's like that's gonna happen. So what do you do with Sean O'Malley now? He needs another fight. The problem with him is, I think the UFC are gonna give him a title shot if they're gonna do what I'm thinking about the White House. That's generally because he did say he wants to fight at the White House card. I think they're gonna give him a title shot because they like him. He's a good, like, he has his own brand. He's a good person to build up. But after that performance, it does kind of like, I would like to see him go against a grappler next. Which, if you look at the rankings, he's only got Umar and Paul Merab, but you're not going to put him against Merab again because that's kind of stupid. So he's got Umar that's above him. I think Umar beats him. So that's kind of just wasting a big fight between Umar and Sean down the line if there's a title involved. So the only person I can think of is if he's not going to get that title shot, you give him Corey Sandhagen. Corey, call him out. Corey's like one ranking below him. I think that's a fun fight. It's another fight that I think O'Malley can win, and it sets him up pretty nicely. What do you do with Son Yadong? Fuck, I actually do not know what you do with Son Yadong. I'm not gonna lie. I did not think about that. Let's go look at the rankings quickly. What do you do with Son Yadong? If you look over here, he's number 5. Davidson's on a bit of a losing streak. Well, he's not really on a losing streak. I think he won his last fight. Well, besides the Umar one. Zahabi, maybe? You could give him there. Or Mario. Actually, I would like to see him versus Mario Batista. I think Mario did really fucking well against Umar. And I think he deserves to be in that top 5. I think he proved that he's a fucking really solid fighter. I think he deserves to be in that top 5. So I think you give him Song Yadong next. I think that would be a very, very good one. Okay, let's go back to the thing here. Okay, there we go. Then we had the third fight, which was Waldo Cortez Costa versus Derek Lewis. Obviously, I said Derek Lewis, but I just don't bet against Lewis. I did kind of say it was probably going to be a Cortez win. I don't think Derek prepared too well for this fight. I don't know, because if you look at when he versed Teixeira, I kind of feel like he was ready to press him to make sure like he lands his shots clearly, he doesn't get off balance. This fight, like, I don't know, he just seemed like he was just gonna swing for the fences and pray that he hits him. I don't think he prepared as well for Costa as what he did for Teixeira. But what do you do with Waldo Cortez? I think it was a very impressive. Is very impressive. This win wasn't that great. I mean, it's a good win on his record, but he called out Curtis Blades. I think it's a very good fight. I think if he beats Curtis Blades, I think he knows he wants to keep active, but he knows the division's in a bit of a run now because of the fucking Aspinall eye poke thing, and Aspinall's obviously out for a while. But if Waldo keeps picking off these guys, I think if he beats Curtis Blades and we have kind of the rematch book for the heavyweight title, he's in a very good spot to be like, it's me next. I'm literally cleaning up shop here. What do you do with Derek Lewis? Fuck me, I have no idea. I actually did have a thing. If we go back. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted to do. If we go back to the rankings. Heavyweight, yeah. I did have a thing. I just can't remember the dude's name now. Because Derek Lucas is down here. I think Walter Walker is a terrible fucking. Oh yeah, it was Mick Parkins. I think you give Parkin. I think you give him Mick Parkin. He's on a pretty good streak. You can get someone new in the top 10. I think it's a fight Derek could probably, win there. I think Walter Walker is a terrible fight for Derek Lewis. That's just killing him his whole career. So we don't do that. But I think you do that with Derek Lewis. No, that's not the fucking event we wanted to do. Anyway, let's go back there. Let's go back there. Oh, okay. For some reason it's doing that. But anyway, if we look back here, we've got Natalia Silva, Rose Namajunas. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was very tired, and I drifted off towards the end of the John Silva fight, leading into this fight. I did watch the ending of John Silva fight, but I was struggling. I watched the first round, and then I drifted off, and I came back to watch the end of the third. And that's kind of when I was lying down watching the fights, and that was a big mistake. So I stood up after that. So I don't really know too much. Like, I don't know I just watched a little bit of the highlights. Some people are saying Rose got robbed in this fight. From the little bit that I watched, I think it was a fair decision. What do you do next? You guys can let me know in the comments down there. Like I said, I didn't watch the full fight. Like every other fight, I've got a genuine idea of like kind of what happened because I watched the majority of the fights. This one I didn't really. It's not because they're women. It's because I fell asleep. What do you do with Natalia? I think you have to give her a title shot now. She's now, I think, at the UFC are doing this stupid thing where you can be ranked the same as someone. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But yeah, I think she deserves a title shot. She should go against Bettina next. What do you do with Rose? Fuck, I have no idea what you do with Rose. I keep saying I have no idea, but I did actually think of these things before I came on. I'm just forgetting. What do you do with Rose? With Rose Namajunas, she's not even in this fucking ranking. Where is she? Oh yeah, she's fucking ranked 13th. What the fuck happened to her? She plummeted down here. Oh, that's the pound for pound. My fucking bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. My bad. I was looking at the fucking pound for pound. Anyway, look at me. She ranked 7th. I was like, fucking hell, why the hell they put her down there? I think you gave her Jasmine Jasvidicius. I don't know. A lot of people online are saying Tracy Cortez. We've already seen that fight. I think it's stupid to book the two of them. You could give her that, but I think a fun fight, like a genuine, you could do that. If you want to keep her fighting up. I think a really fun fight would be Casey O'Neill versus Rose Namajunas. That is a good fight. See, I told you guys I thought about this. I just forgot. I think that's a really good fight. That's an entertaining fight too. So let's go here. We go back here. Let's see what the last fight is. Brendan Allen versus John Silver. This fight, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that impressed with it. Like, this was another fight that I was like very iffy with. It was a clear John Silver win, but it's also like kind of like not like it wasn't that entertaining. I wasn't that entertained by it, but there was a little cool moment where he stood on Brendan Allen's back, like jumped off, a little funny moment, like ah ha ha. But yeah, it gets him into the top 5. What do you do with John Silver next? Is very tricky because the other guys are gonna want title shots. So it's very difficult because those guys are expecting to kind of get title shots. So if you look at the rankings over here, John Silver's now 6. I don't know, like Lerone Murphy, I think he needs to fight one more time. I think Lerone Murphy, he believes he's going to have to fight one more time to get a title shot. I think he should have got a title shot. Now I don't think Diego should have got a title shot. If I'm the UFC, I go John Silver, Yair Rodriguez, and then I say the winner potentially gets a title shot there, and then you go Lerone Murphy versus Emelov, and then also kind of like a title shot. I think that's the best way to play it. And then for Arnold Allen, I thought about this, and it's to get someone new in there, and it's also he's getting up there on the age, so you kind of want to see his best abilities. I think you give him Patricio Pitbull, Arnold, to fight Patricio Pitbull, gets him up there in the rankings, and you can kind of see if he has what it takes to get there. He beat Dan Ige in his last fight, which I thought he was going to lose that one, because Dan Ige he's hard as fuck. But yeah, that's what I would do personally. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys would do. The UFC Aftermath, obviously we'll get another one out soon. At the time that I'm going to put this out, it's going to be very close to the UFC 225. So yeah, I'm going to get on that video right next. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about potential matchups, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.